Live from the J.C. Newman Cigar Studio and the Gurkha Cigar Studio in the great state of New Hampshire, welcome to the Smokin Tobacco Show with your hosts, Matt Tobacco and Smokin Nicole.
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Smokin Tobacco Show. My name is Matt Tobacco from SmokinTobacco.com, and I'm joined once again by the beautiful Smokin Nicole.
Hello.
And we are finally back. We have been away for several weeks. For a lot of reasons. We were at the trade show, and then we came back, and we weren't feeling well, and we've had some other things to deal with. So
Matthew was sick first, and then I feel like I got sick later, and I'm still just getting over everything a little bit. So, I feel like run down. Traveling takes a lot out of you when you're old.
yeah, it really does. It does. There's been a lot going on. So, but we're finally back to be here with all of you, and trying to get this show on the road here. Obviously, this is the first time we've been on the air since the PCA Trade Show, so we'll have some insights that.
A lot of talking about some new cigars for those who are interested.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
just
right.
what we saw, and although we do have a bunch of videos that we did put up on YouTube from some of our travels through the booths.
We did. Yep.
Not a ton, but
I think 30 something so far.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple that we actually missed. I need to go back and just double check and make sure we get them out.
yeah.
But I would say I can say with certainty 90% of them are up.
Yeah.
Which is the majority and the most popular ones too. And I'll reshare the links to all those too. I need to get caught up a little bit with some of the stuff. And I will get to that. But it is there if you go to our YouTube channel. They are there if you just want to go and find them on your own.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to put this out there too. The next few weeks just might be a little bit crazy for us as well. We're gearing up for Anastasia to have another surgery. So that's also on our docket in the next week and a half. So.
Yeah. We, many people who know, we had to do major surgery last year, and it didn't go as well as we'd hoped, but in the end, everything worked out, I guess, is how we can say that. But this is a kind of a follow-up surgery that...
yeah, this was part of the plan. So last
Yeah.
year when she had her bone...
Nothing
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, when she had her bone grafts and then, her infection, they had planned to take out a plate and 4 screws that they put in her femur last year. So this is like part of the plan, but because, we got an infection last time, I'm so nervous for her to go back in the hospital and everything. I feel like we all have medical trauma from the last time around. So I'm hoping everything goes smoothly. So just if, there are any hiccups or we have any missed shows, I just want to put that out there right now. It's more so just because she's having surgery relatively soon. So.
Yes, it is a very stressful time for us right now. There is a lot going on, as I said before. But hopefully, we just kind of move through it as easily as we can.
Yeah.
We will talk about what we're smoking really quick.
Yeah.
As our cigars are once again brought to you by the number 2 guyscigars.com. Head over there today for an amazing selection of cigars and accessories from brands you know and love, and maybe a few you haven't quite discovered yet. So do yourself a favor, place an order, and show them some love. They show us love every week by being here with us. The number 2 guyscigars.com. Nicole, what are you smoking over there?
I'm smoking this Little Red Anchor.
Oh, a Little Red Anchor.
A Little Red Anchor. It sounds so cute.
It does. It
I
does.
love the Red Anchor.
It's kind of on theme with our trivia segment later.
Oh yes. That's
Yes.
a little teaser.
Yeah. That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah.
And I am smoking everyone's favorite brand to say the wrong way. It is the Oliva Serie V. I can't tell you how many people I run into still. And look, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But it's like.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please say that again?
Who is that?
It was Siri. I was not talking to you. so you're gonna have to go away.
She was listening anyway.
Yeah,
That's a whole nother conversation for
they're-
another day.
They're always listening.
They are.
They're watching us. It's Big Brother. No, it's but look, yeah, I can't tell you how many people I run into, and they're like, "Yeah, Olivia," and I'm like, "Oh, I've never heard of that brand." And they're like, "Really? You've never heard of Olivia cigars?" No, must be new. Like, it's just all the time. Olivia. I'm like, you mean Oliva? Pretty prominent name, Oliva. Oh yeah. There's only one I in that name. I am smoking the Oliva Serie V Torpedo tonight. I was gonna go with the Melanio, but it's in a box press Churchill, which is a great size, but I wasn't feeling that length tonight, so I'm gonna save that for another night. But really nice, and I'm having a Woodford Reserve Old Fashioned in late honor of the Kentucky Derby last weekend.
Nice choice.
Yeah, I think it's a good pairing.
I'm still not feeling 100 for a drink, but
Yeah, and that's okay. It happens.
I'll drink my
Canada
ginger
Dry
ale.
Fruit Splash.
I like my fruit
I
splash.
know. It's a good one. And lighting our cigars once again with us is ST Dupont, shaking up the legacy, featuring the new table lighter from
my
ST
God.
Dupont, featuring a flat blade flame as well as a windproof soft flame. You can't beat it. For the great low price, I think it's $7.99. I think it's $7.99 retail. Ask your local ST Dupont retailer today.
Can I just say that the ST Dupont booth is pretty much as close to a Willy Wonka booth that you can get at the trade show?
Outside of probably like Fuente's booth, because that's in terms of the actual cigars, and then that's like the Willy Wonka of cigars booth, and then this is like the Willy Wonka of accessories booth.
But they just have so many releases, and I'm just like,
Surprises.
how are you doing all of this? I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. They, and a lot of times Les will tell us, sorry, excuse me. Les will say, we'll get, going into the show, be like, we have X amount of releases coming, and yada. And then we'll get there, and we'll walk in the booth after, he's convened with the French, and he'll be like, yeah, they brought stuff that, like, we didn't know was coming. And it's like, boom, it's here. It's like, oh, and it's wild. And it's like, well, let me see it. And you're like, oh my God. And they come out of nowhere sometimes with this stuff. Like, it just shows up at the show. No one knows it's coming. And it's like, wow. And I give those guys credit. They do a great job of selling it, even though they don't know it's coming. And sometimes it's a surprise. And
I didn't cover that booth, so I don't know everything that they came out with, but I had to sneak a peek, so I did go and walk around.
I'm going to be honest with you, I can't even remember right now. I mean, it was almost a month ago. Trying to remember. Well, they get the new the torch lighter that has the twisting head, which is it's a little bit bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Those look pretty cool.
Yeah, they've expanded the Legrands.
They brought back, what was it in the gold dust?
They're bringing back some pieces of gold. They have the gold dust pen, and I think they have a gold dust biggie. I can't remember. That'll be seen later in the year. The maquillé, I believe is how you say that, which is all hand painted.
Oh yeah.
Which is really
was
interesting.
beautiful.
Yeah, that was all hand painted by a Japanese artist, and they had him in the booth, like doing it. And I had a short clip. You guys probably saw it on social media. And I think he said it takes him I think Les said it's like 30 days for him to do like a full piece, something like that. Like it's really, it's all done slowly by hand, and when the lighters you get, those were hand painted. It's not a copy. It's not like a screening of that piece of lacquer was hand painted, and then it was hand installed on that lighter, and then it was put in the box, and you bought it. I mean, it's
truly a work of art.
It really, it's crazy to think about. You literally buy art when you buy some of these Dupont pieces, and look no further than the maquillé collection. It is just a perfect example of that. And then there's the I'm gonna butcher this one. Papate, I think it's the papate, which is almost like a sponge work in the lacquer. That was really cool too. That was really, and that's all done by hand. Not as sophisticated.
Did you do a
but
video for them?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's up
check
there.
that out on YouTube if you're looking, because I'm sure you displayed a lot of them.
We
too.
did.
Les always makes us, or I don't want to say makes us, but lets us kindly take all of these lighters out. Usually they don't take them out for people at the show; they keep them in the cases. So
Yeah, we're always very grateful for the hospitality
Yeah.
in the Dupont booth. So shout out to everyone over there. Mark Cole, Les Man, everybody. Just thank you very much. It's awesome. It is. I mean, people don't realize, like, when you go in that booth, I mean, it is a kind of a high valued booth. So a lot of that stuff is,
locked up.
pretty guarded. So the fact that they take out as much as they do for us, to let us handle it and just, photograph it and all that, it is a big deal. So we do appreciate it. And they're very busy. So they squeeze all that in as they're in between. So
Yeah.
we do appreciate that.
But on that note,
That's good.
we can dive into some of our other PCA recap topics.
Yeah. I mean, look, overall, talk about the show.
What was the coolest thing you saw?
Oh, man. I'm going to be honest with you.
Or like top 3, if you can't choose just one.
I mean, I'm not a soccer person, but Olivia did have the soccer ball shaped humidor that they're releasing for the World Cup.
Cool. Yeah.
And like, I've
I saw a lot of World Cup releases.
yeah. I mean, I know the last World Cup. I know Placencia did one. I think the Etifal, I think it was called. I can't remember if Oliva did, but I know Oliva had one for this. I thought that was interesting because even though I'm not a big soccer guy or football as it's called outside the U.S., it's still kind of cool to see that. You know what I mean? Other humidor, I mean, you got the humidor that JC Newman had on display that was part of their America 250 celebration, and on the top was a map of the U.S. and each state, each piece of each state was made with a wood from that state.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Placencia had a new World Cup cigar for this year. So
Yeah, I
had a
do.
new
They
one.
did. Yeah, because they did one last time.
Yeah, so they have a new one that was being released, and then there are other I don't want to say hoopla in a negative way, but like in a fun way, is that their new rebranding came out. So everything.
Yes,
is
the new
rebranded over
branding, the
there.
new logo, and the word mark and all that is new.
Yeah.
Which was interesting to see. A lot of America 250 stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up. I have all my notes.
Gurkha had the Tres Decadis, or Decadis. I'm not great with Spanish pronunciation. It's not my primary language. That celebrates Juan Lopez's 30 years in the cigar business.
Ooh.
Which was really, really cool, which we have some over there. So that was nice, because, Juan's a great dude, and he's a great friend. So it's nice to see him being celebrated for his dedication in the business. I know he does a great job. So, and he's been around a long time. Doesn't seem like it, I don't think, sometimes, but he has.
So other 250 releases, Aladino had one.
Yes. Along with the Guabasto.
Along with the Gorbasto, yep, that's right. And then, and that's an interesting concept. So the Gorbasto, essentially there's 3 different undisclosed blends in that line, and you're supposed to pick which one that you want to smoke based on if you bond with that character's storyline. And each of these 3 gorillas have, I don't know, like a story. I don't know. It's supposed to be. She explained it as like a choose your own adventure cigar. So interesting concept.
It is an interesting concept.
Interesting concept.
No, my silence is
Yeah.
not skepticism.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, it hasn't been done.
no. I mean,
So-
you need to have, new ideas. But sometimes you see new ideas and I don't know, they're kind of cheap, or I don't know. It's like, oh, all right, it's different. But no, I mean that's kind of cool. I mean, kind of associating like with the identity, like we've seen some of that with not exactly in that way, I guess, but we've seen some similar things from some other brands.
Couple other ones. Let's see. Fratello had a 250.
They had one. Hoya had one.
Crowned Heads had a World Cup release too.
Oh, did they?
They did.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. I don't think I covered that booth.
No, I did. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then Howard G had one about the for the first round draft picks.
Oh, really?
Which I thought was interesting.
The NFL draft picks?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he's a former NFL player.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'll have to read up on that one.
Then there were a couple other America things. Because what was the deal with... Because Fuente had one.
All right, so...
there was one that was 250 and then one that was 911?
No. So, no. They didn't do an America 250. And and Carlito and I spoke about this. And he really wanted to make sure that the messaging was clear on this. They have a release that is very patriotic at a time when everyone's releasing an America 250.
Yeah.
So I get why people would be confused.
Yeah.
But according, from the horse's mouth, according to him, it is not an America 250 release. That is a release that will celebrate, or maybe we shouldn't celebrate, but honor. Sorry, that's the better word. That will honor and memorialize September 11th. So it's called. Sorry, it begins with an R. Why am I blanking on the word? But it's
find it in my notes.
it's in a box that's patriotic, American flag, red, white, and blue, stars and stripes, and all that. And there's two cigars in the middle that are fully wrapped in like a red, white, and blue, covering. And those two cigars.
Is it the Resilient? But with
the Resilience, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
And those two cigars represent the Twin Towers. And then there's other cigars that don't have all that. They have the red, white, and blue Opus X logo bands. But the two in the middle are like fully wrapped in like the flag, like paper, like the banding, like a full body band. Those two cigars signify the World Trade Center towers that came down on September 11th. And it's just to kind of, pay tribute to everybody, who was affected by it, all the lives that were lost, people affected, the families. And if I remember correctly, he also said that he was going to do something with, on the bottom of the box, he was going to put, I'm pretty sure this is what he said. He said he wanted to put the badge numbers of the police and firefighters that died on September 11th from the NYPD and the FDNY, which is that's really cool. And I think he knew that a lot of people might misinterpret it as like an America 250 thing, and he was like, I want people to know that no, like that's not what this is. This is to remember September 11th because a lot of people have forgotten.
This is where I'm getting confused, and I don't know if there's a lot of information online about it, but LE Blue has an Opus X humidor that has the American flag on the Opus sign.
I believe that is separate.
Yeah, I know it's separate, but I thought that might have been for 250.
That might be like a 250 thing, but that's more of like an LE Blue thing, and they.
But they talked about cigars maybe being in the humidor.
Yes.
So
that's a different thing, and that's mostly like LE Blue show that they've like partnered with Fuente on, whereas like this is Fuente's own in-house release.
No, I know.
So just want to make sure it's clear for everyone else. And then they also have another sampler set that they debuted, which they're calling, the Summer of Love. It's the Summer of Love. They did it last year with the retailers.
There was the Baby Shark.
As well as the new size of the Opus X Shark, the Baby Shark, which I couldn't stop thinking about Baby Shark after I heard that, which is very popular in this household for obvious reasons. Not so much by us, but our roommate that we have that's under 311 with the hands. She loves it, and so yeah, they had some interesting stuff in their booth, and it's all stuff that everyone's going to be trying to track down.
Mm-hmm.
Padron, you mentioned Fuente, you mentioned Padron. Padron had a humidor on display, but they didn't really release much information about it.
It was supposed. It's supposed to honor what would have been
Jose Orlando Padron's 100th birthday.
Yes, and that was the only thing I believe new at their booth.
But they did not confirm, which it's
Yeah.
Padron. There's going to be a cigar with it.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't say when it was coming out. So, which, it's kind of typical with Padron. They're very tight-lipped on stuff. They'll tease something, and then they won't really say much about it at all. So, Big Four. Drew Estate had a big year. They released the Dominicana last year. And this year they complemented that with a Maduro version that they're calling the Buenas Noches.
But their biggest news was that they're opening.
Yes, just in terms of releases,
Yeah.
but also prior to the show, they did. Drew Estate did announce that they are going to the Dominican in 27. Is that what it is? In 27 it opens. They're opening a factory in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So that was big news too. They're really kind of going in on the Dominican.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So there's going to be a lot more that comes out about that, but that's kind of a big deal. They've been very identified with Nicaragua and everything that they've done there, which that's what's gotten them where they are.
The basis of their brand, yeah.
So the fact that they're now they're going into the Dominican and they're expanding that is a big deal. That's a very big deal for a company like Drew Estate. It's not like there's other companies that might expand into other countries, and it's cool and it's interesting, and this is a big deal for Drew Estate. They're very intertwined with Nicaragua, so that kind of stole a little bit of the show. They dropped that right before the show began, and then obviously they the Buenas Noches, and then as well as the Undercrown El Tigre. So they had a couple of new cigars, and they had some other major announcements. So I think Drew Estate had a really good show. They really came in. They dropped their heat. They had they had cigar releases. They had company developments and changes, and then of course they had all the stuff with Jay San and Son, which is JD Drew's, Jonathan Drew's kind of project and thing that he's doing. So a lot going on in that booth. That was a lot going on. So Drew Estate had a good show. I'm thinking Big Four right now. Altadis USA. They had some news. They had the Blue Amber from for Aging Room.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't cover.
No. No, they had the Blue Amber, which is an Aging Room release, which is going to be coming out. That's a cool one. They added to the Monte Cristo Espada collection. They added for those who remember the Monte Cristo White, the Doble Diamante. From was that last year? 2 years ago? Now they have the red version. The red, I forget, is it the red Diamante? Doble Diamante? I can't remember. Ultra premium cigar, kind of like the succession to the white. They had a New Age Upman, and I think that's it. So they had some interesting releases. They had several. They were busy. Drew Estate was busy. Davidoff, I feel like every brand kind of had. Camacho did a America 250 by way of the Liberty. Davidoff itself bringing back the Puro Dominicano, which we have those over there. Which I believe those are out. I think those are June. I think those are coming out in June. Zeno, Honduras, in the red, versus the Nicaragua was the yellow, and then they have a red one that's going to be a Honduran, and then Avo, which we've talked about Avo a lot over the years. Avo had
a really cool drink in their booth.
They did. Well, so here's the thing with Avo. Avo has been one of those brands that's been needing some life pumped into it for a while. And, if you watch our show and other shows, it's no secret. And they know it. We know it. Everybody knows it. It's kind of been, meh. It's just been this, I don't want to say it's a dead brand. But it's just, there's been nothing exciting about Avo, which has been historically like one of the best-selling brands. And so they're trying to reinvigorate it and kind of refresh it, relaunch it. And they had the whole Avo experience. Avo honestly had the biggest real estate in the Davidoff booth. Everybody gets represented, but Avo had like the most real estate. They had an interactive, like you walked inside in the booth and they had a bar and they were making these crazy drinks with bubble guns and all sorts of fun stuff that, any of the women loved it, because it's like, oh my God. But yeah, it was cool. I drank it. It was delicious. I wanted more. It had a little bit of a kick to it. I forget what was in it.
It was kind of like a little speakeasy though, because you didn't know it was behind the wall.
Yeah.
But they had a whole bar.
It was like you had to go around the wall.
You had to like go into the booth, and in the middle of the booth was this box room that kind of looked like nothing, to be honest with you, because there was a wall kind of blocking the view of what was going on.
But then
inside.
when you went around, you were like, what's going on in here? There was a bar in here, and they had the whole display, and I'm like, what's going on here? It was nice. I'm hoping that really puts some life into Avo, which is because I love the history of the brand and the story and what Avo Vezian, who's no longer with us, obviously. So I see them putting some money and effort into the Avo brand, and I hope it really pays off for them. I really do. So definitely check that out when it lands. I think that's this month, maybe June. Those will start shipping. I think maybe this month. And then General. You covered General. And General,
Yes.
kind of really spread out. It's not. It's kind of like Davidoff, but they got a lot more brands, so it's even thinner. You know what I mean? There's like little smaller sections with all the different brands kind of in there.
Yeah, I didn't catch everything, only because I got more information for our write-ups on the website. Obviously, I met with Matt Booth, so he was taking over the corner. And they have the Payback 70.
Yeah, which...
we don't have it down
No,
here right
they
now,
showed up today.
And then he had the new Johnny Tobacco.
10th was last year. The Maduros.
The Maduros, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. He had those.
But that booth was busy every time I was in there. It was slammed.
Yeah, look, General, it's a big company.
Yep.
The real hardcore cigar people might not smoke a lot of those brands because they get really into the boutiques and but the reality is that in a general note, General sells almost more cigars than anybody else. They're one of the biggest cigar making companies in the world. They
have Cohiba, they have Macanudo.
Yeah, all the legacy brands.
Yeah. They have CAO.
I love when, time to time, like on the groups on Facebook, you'll see like people that make posts in these groups, and they'll be like, "Who smokes Macanudo? Do people really smoke factory smokes?" Blah blah blah, and it's like yes,
They
yes,
do.
and it's like
They
yes,
do.
they do.
At least up here, they're
They
in
do.
every single gas station. So how many people are just grabbing them?
And just think about
Yeah.
that. You look at all those places. Yes.
Yeah.
So like you got people out there who like they smoke a lot of like smaller brands and stuff like that, and they're like, "Who smokes Macanudo?" 'Cause I don't
There's
smoke.
a
It's
whole
believe me, there's
subset of
people who smoke it.
Casual cigar smokers who don't actually go to cigar shops. They
Or
just go
engage
to,
in
like-
this.
Or engage in
Yeah.
this. They're not thinking that too into it, right? Or that much into it. I guess we take it more seriously, right?
Exactly.
But they just go to their corner store, they grab a cigar, they smoke the cigar while they're walking the dog or just doing something. Like they just grab it and they don't have the time, or maybe they have a mean wife or something that just doesn't let them go to a real cigar lounge.
Yeah.
So they're just grabbing what they can when they get it,
Yeah, they just gotta smoke in the
Yeah.
car on the way home.
And actually, to be fair, in Massachusetts specifically, I know we live in New Hampshire, but we spend a lot of time there. How many cigar shops are there really? There's not a whole lot of them, because you can't smoke in them. There's like less than.
Well, down in Mass, yeah. I mean, up here in New Hampshire, it's
I mean,
different story.
there's less than 10 lounges in all of Massachusetts, which is like I think that you can smoke in.
Yeah.
Like actually smoke in. So like, it's easier for people to just go to a convenience store and grab their cigars, or go to Total Wine and grab their cigars in the humidor at Total Wine, because there's like not actual places for them to go. So that, and if you ever walk into like, Total Wine is a conglomerate, right? I don't know if it is across the country, but it is at least here in the Northeast. But like, they have a partnership clearly with like General.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it's mostly General that they have.
And Swisher.
Yeah.
It's like Swisher,
And
General.
So, that's where, because those owners are getting the cigars when they just buy, what cigarette stock and other stuff that they have.
And that's where a lot of
too.
fresh packs come into play too. You're seeing like the fresh packs are getting popular, and the fresh packs are popular with those people who are like much more casual than the rest of us, and they grab those fresh packs, they hit the golf course with their buddies, they're like, oh, we have cigars. They don't really like,
but they don't own a humidor.
Yeah,
so they
and they're not like into it.
Pack.
Like they don't know what they have. I mean, they recognize the brand because they bought it last time and they liked it. And that's not a knock. I mean, that's the reality.
We still need those people, because some of them turn into
cigar
smokers who are more excited. So it's an easy way for them to like get their feet wet.
And that's the reality. I mean, not everybody is as into it like the rest of us, and that's fine. But I think what people need to remember is that those people exist, and they are kind of the majority.
Yeah.
So,
There's more than you think.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of those guys, they buy Connecticut Shade.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Connecticut Shade is the #1 selling wrapper.
But it's also interesting because the other release that we saw quite a lot of was cigarillos.
Yes.
There were quite a few cigarillos. There were quite a few flavored type things that people were putting out that were short, that didn't really need to be humidified.
And culebras.
Yeah, but it was
which actually,
that's an interesting thing.
I have one of the more popular ones that I don't think it's out yet.
Ooh, are you gonna go get it?
I will, because people are gonna want to see it.
Oh, I think I know which one it is. Yeah, it's from one of the talked about booths, who I believe had quite a few releases. Are you going to do an unboxing of it right now?
I might as well.
Might as well.
Let me grab the knife so I can cut the plastic. There was a couple of them. Pete had one. Pete is doing the Creature. Mm-hmm. For the Monster series, and he is doing the Old Man and the Sea, but like the sea.
Yeah.
And the sea, Culebra, and so he has one coming out. So you'll be able to buy the Creature in its regular box of 13, and then he's gonna have a case of 6 coffins, and each coffin is gonna have a Culebra and then a different size of the Creature.
While you're slicing that open, Kevin said, heard the Toscano Limoncello cigar. Yes, we actually had a shot.
We smoked it.
Yeah, and we had some limoncello and got kind of drunk in the Toscano booth.
We did.
While smoking those cigars with Michael Capolini. They were really good, though.
They were.
I think we actually have some somewhere. That was an interesting flavor, but it was good.
So this is one of the other Culebras that was unveiled at the show, and I don't believe these are out yet. So you're getting an exclusive look. But, from none other than, let me just use this as our segue right here.
Why not?
From Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Look what I have. The Lengua de Suegra Culebra from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. There it is. Right there. Brand new.
All shiny.
Look at that. Still in its cellophane. Plop it out here. There it is. Look at that. That's the biggest cellophane I think I've ever seen. Look at that thing.
I still think his booth probably had the most cigar releases, right? For the trade show? Like for an existing brand.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Steve had he had a bunch of stuff. I mean,
I gotta touch it.
Yeah, there it is. I don't think you've ever had a Culebra before.
We did have one.
We did?
Yeah, we
I've
did.
had one before, but
No,
have you?
you and I had one.
We did?
Yeah. Long time ago. It was like during 2020.
Do you remember what it was?
No. I can't remember. But I know we did.
Huh.
Because I was making jokes about the shape.
I haven't had many, I'll be honest. They're not super common. I had the Cuban Partagas one once upon a time. I think I smoked that with Trevor. And then I had a non-Cuban one from someone else. I'm trying to remember what it was though.
Yeah, but I think that one was the one with me.
And maybe it was. Yeah. I don't even remember what it was.
I know, I can't.
But
it was that non-memorable.
But I vaguely remember. Yeah, we unbraided it.
We unbraided it, and we each had one.
Yeah.
And then we had the extra one.
Yeah.
But this was like in the carriage house attic.
Yeah, and then I remember at one point I had the Cuban Partagas one. I think those are the only two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not common,
No.
but we have that one and Jay Davis at Blue Smoke of Dallas. He knows. He knows I want the other one. So that's on the list. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that was cool. But yeah, we saw a couple, and then there was one other one that we saw. Someone else had one too. I think there was 3 Culebra releases. It was that one, Pete's, and there was I think there was one other. I can't remember. But anyway, while we're on the topic, talk about Stockman's Gripe of the Week, brought to you by Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Steve, and I told Steve about this in the booth. I'm like, he's been. I said, Steve, you haven't been gripey enough. You know, you've been in too good of a mood. And you know, he didn't like that very much. You know, but it's Steve. Do you really expect anything less? So 5 days ago, he did post this. He had some bitching to do. He had some bitching to do. Yesterday, due to work, I had to delay my flight to Detroit and fly in on Friday. No problem getting a different flight. But the rental car situation was a problem. The only place with a reservation available was Payless Car Rental. I would gladly pay more. I have been in this MFing check-in line for over an hour. I'm beginning to think that eating glass would be a joy compared to this. Not even a Snicker. That's how you know he was pissed. And I believe he was in town to visit with Ronnie at Secreto. And the comments were even better. A lot of people were saying, like, you know, you would think that maybe the shop that was hosting you, maybe they would have come and got you. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Ronnie. Habibi. Can't believe you'd leave Steve stranded at the airport like that. That's bad hosting on the retailer's part. That's on you, Ronnie. I'm gonna take Steve's side as I have to. You know, I have to. That's on Ronnie. But Steve had every right to be upset. I'd be upset too.
I don't think the shop owner has to be his chauffeur.
I
Also, how do you not know that, like, Steve might not be a good passenger in the car? I don't know. We'll have to ask.
Should have
Cindy
Ronnie.
about it. No.
Should have Ronnie on and interrogate. Be like, what happened there? And then we'll ask Cindy. Be like, Cindy, what's the deal?
I feel like I wouldn't want to be in the car with Steve Stock.
Do you think he complains a lot when he's driving?
Yeah.
You know, why do they put so many signs on the highway? I mean, you can't really read them all. I can just imagine. You know what I mean? I can just imagine. You know, you might be onto something.
I don't know.
I got to drink some Eagle Rare with him in the booth. I sat down for my appointment. He was like, "You want to smoke something?" I'm like, yeah. And I can't remember. I smoked something. Oh, I smoked the one of the new Stillwells, the green one, which was actually quite nice. And then I was like, you got bourbon going? He was like, yeah, of course I do. And then he was like, what do you want? And I was like, oh, is that you got Eagle Rare over there? And he was like, yeah, let's go. Popped it open. Started drinking, day drinking with Steve. It's always a good idea. He's like, I don't care, I'll drink it. So it was good. You know, it's always fun to go to that booth. It really is. I look forward to it every year. You know, and we did our 35-minute interview, which is no surprise.
It's actually not bad.
The number one. It is the number one viewed for the 4th year in a row. It's the #1 viewed video right now from the trade show. It always is. Because it's Steve. Why wouldn't it be? Our friends at Nova Cigar are with us. Shout out to Nova. Make Nova big. Shout out to Leo. As always, great hospitality in the booth. They had the Falcon that they were showing off. That was cool. And I don't know if you went in the booth, but somebody had made an electric guitar, like a smaller, out of one of their boxes, and then she had it on a guitar stand, like right at the edge of the booth. It was kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, no, because we split up our booth coverage, so I
Yeah.
didn't get to see a lot of the ones that you
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. That was cool. They they don't have the biggest booth, but it's a nice booth, and then they're always great in there. So, and if you haven't smoked Nova, check them out because we're gonna make them big. They're great. They make great cigars.
But let's also segue because we also didn't mention Perdomo yet.
No, we didn't. Perdomo, as always, covers our trivia segment,
But,
featuring the 2025 Cigar of the Year, the Perdomo Legacy Nicaraguan Shade-Grown Epicure, as well as our 2025 Factory of the Year. Both of those awards were presented to them at the booth this year. But while we were in the Perdomo booth, before we get to what the trivia segment is, I will talk about Perdomo had another legacy on display. You guys probably heard about it by now. We've talked about it. Nicholas was on the show a few weeks ago. The father and son, the collaboration between Nicholas and Nick. It's going to be a limited edition release of the legacy in a Figurado, 3 blends, the Connecticut, Nicaraguan, Maduro. But we actually got to see it. I got to smoke it. I smoked, which one did I smoke? The Connecticut? I think I smoked the Connecticut one.
Did you?
Either the Connecticut or the Shade.
I think it was the Shade.
It wasn't the Maduro. I know it wasn't the Maduro. Yeah. It was good, though. I smoked it, and when you get into Figurados, sometimes, the draw, the burn, you just as good as a Round Pareo. It was lights out, great cigar, smoked well. I think it's something that people are really going to enjoy. If you're a big Perdomo fan, smoker, you need to chase those down when they hit at the end of the year. It's not going to disappoint. It was a great cigar. It was really good. I only had the one, but it was a great cigar. But they do ride with us for our trivia segment. And what was the exact theme we settled on? I know we were talking about cruise ships, but
Cruise ship catastrophes based on the news this week.
Yeah. Well, this one's not really a catastrophe. It's more of a health outbreak, but it got me thinking. I'm like, well, there's the Titanic, which, that's an easy one. But there's been some others. There's the Concordia.
Yep.
Which flipped over. I think it was 2010.
Well, okay.
There's the Carnival one that they got stranded out there. They had no power. Remember that one? There was a documentary.
You're ruining some of my questions over here.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the questions are going to be. I just, But what do we have? What do you got?
All right, let's see here. So, which ship sank in 1994 in the Baltic Sea, killing over 850 people in one of Europe's worst peacetime maritime disasters? A, the Andrea Doria, B, the Estonia, C, the Britannia, and D, the Oceanic. I can't pronounce anything, I feel like.
Can you read the question one more time?
Which ship sank in 1994 in the Baltic Sea, killing over 850 people in one of Europe's worst peacetime maritime disasters?
And read the selections.
The Andrea Doria, the Estonia, the Britannica, and the Oceanic.
The Britannica.
Wrong. It was the Estonia. And it's funny. I actually know this one. It says the exact cause remains controversial and surrounded by conspiracy theories. And one of my old desk girls who worked for me when I worked at Equinox in in Boston. She was from Estonia, and her mother died on the cruise ship. I know.
Oh.
So, and she said there were so many conspiracy theories surrounding it. I mean, she was only like 4 or 5 when it happened, but
Interesting.
but that they were like illegally bringing like nuclear weapons somewhere else, and they were on the ship, and that's why the ship was targeted, and there was all sorts of stuff. I think there was a documentary out about it too.
I would watch that.
Somewhere. Yeah, there is one with like all the different conspiracy theories surrounding it, but I believe one of them is that it was carrying nuclear weapons. So. Interesting.
Yeah,
I know,
interesting. Yeah. All right, what's the next one?
Let's see here. What terrifying nickname did passengers give the Carnival Triumph after an engine left them stranded without power in 2013? The Dead Ship, the Black Pearl, the Floating Nightmare, or the Poop Cruise?
Oh, the Poop Cruise. I remember that one now.
Would know this one.
Well, I remember that. I remember the incident, but I didn't remember the Poop Cruise until you said it. I'm like, oh, that's right, because of the Netflix.
Well, yeah, when we watched, so this one also has a Netflix documentary.
Yeah, because
which we tend to watch
because that was
Yeah.
the one when like they had like no power, and so like
Yeah.
they couldn't.
Yeah,
they
the
couldn't,
toilet stopped working.
Well, they couldn't pump the water in the
Yeah.
sewage, so
Yeah.
it just started to fill into the rooms,
Ugh,
and
it
people
was
were like,
disgusting.
"What do we do?"
Yeah,
And it
watch
was
that
like,
documentary. It's wild.
nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could do.
Yeah.
This is, I don't like cruises for so many reasons. And all of these are just individual examples among so many others of why I don't like cruises. People love cruises. You know, I know Carney loves cruises. They go on cruises all the time. Your brother was just on a cruise. He loved it. And I'm like, that's Satan's work. I don't do cruises. Being out in the middle of the ocean, no way. No. At least in a plane, like if it goes down, like that's it, you know. A cruise, it's like a slow death, you know. You're drowned, you're tortured first. The impending doom, the ship goes.
This is getting to be a really dark show.
Yeah, I mean it's. I ain't about that.
Okay, the Costa Concordia captain was accused of doing what risky maneuver too close to shore? A, full speed racing. B, emergency turn practice. C, salute sail by. And D, deep sea anchoring.
What was the second one?
Emergency turn practice.
It wasn't racing. I want to say it's either the second one, the emergency turn, or it's the deep sea anchoring.
Are those your final guesses?
Yeah, it's one of those two.
They're both wrong. Sorry.
What was the other one?
The salute sail by. The close coastal pass allegedly led directly to the collision.
Huh.
Because he was too close to shore.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because that's right. Because that's the one that ran aground, and then it tipped because it was half submerged. I remember that one. I think it was in Italy.
It was in Italy in 2012.
Yeah.
It struck rocks, and the captain was heavily criticized after allegedly abandoning the ship early. Too.
Everybody knows the captain goes down with the ship. That's the rule.
Clearly, he didn't get the memo.
That's the unwritten rule of the sea. The captain always goes down with the ship. That's the way it's always been since the pirate times. Not the Somalians and the speedboats. I mean, like, you know, like the peg leg pirates. That's the way it's always been. So, yeah, shame on him. He brought disgrace to the captainhood of great sea captains around the world. Shame.
Yep.
You always go down with the ship.
Anyway.
Do you have another one?
Not really. You know why? Because they put a lot of Titanic ones
Yeah,
in
and the
there, I feel like
Titanic's
those
too
are
easy because everybody
Yeah,
knows about it.
I know.
Everybody saw the James Cameron movie and they think they know everything, even though it was not completely accurate. Because that was a fictitious story.
Well, also fun. I'll give you one more fun fact, which
Of a
is
real event.
the Concordia also is one of the most expensive salvage operations in history,
Yes.
and it remained visible for years after the
Yeah.
accident.
Because
as well.
they couldn't flip it up right away.
Yeah.
They had to. I remember that one. They had to do it very slowly. They had to bring it up very slowly, and drain it, and to get it upright. It was scrapped. I mean, there was no saving it. But like they still had to go through it. They had to get it up and float it, and then when they finally got it, then it was sent off to scrap, and they stripped it down. But yeah, it's I don't mind going out like on a booze cruise or like going out on a fishing trip. That's cool.
Yeah, you're not afraid of boats, but like
but like being out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the ocean, and something happens. Like right now, if you follow the news, you hear about the hantavirus that it broke out on one of the ships, and now
is it hant or hot?
Hantavirus.
Hanta. Okay.
It comes from rats.
Ugh.
I know they're already calling it the next Chinese virus. Who knows? But anyway.
Fun.
Planes, sure. Trains, yeah. Driving, you got it. Cruise ships, fuck that. We did one. Growing up, we did one. Never again.
I've never been on one, but I've watched all the documentaries, and also the Titanic scarred me as a child. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching the Titanic movie when I was young, when it came out, because my mom had it on the double VHS. Who remembers that?
We had the double VHS.
Yeah,
too.
the double VHS, and my mom made us watch it. I remember exactly where it stops too. The first tape ends when Billy Zane slaps Kate Winslet, and then the tape stops, and it was like, all right, let's switch them out. It was like 2 tapes. It was like in 1998. That was a huge deal. Oh, 2 tapes, because it was so big. It's all bullshit. Yeah, and we had it.
I'm surprised no one's tried to remake it yet. I feel like we gotta be coming up on attempting, because I take that back. This year, I feel like we've seen more like original movies come out, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm never excited for all new movies coming out nowadays. It's like nothing good. I just feel like they keep remaking things.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, no one's attempted to redo Titanic yet.
I don't know. It's a James Cameron movie. I mean, that's.
I know, but with like, all of the things accessible to them now.
I know. I mean, I will admit it is a romance. It's a romance drama, rom-dram, whatever they call those. Not a rom-com. It was not funny. But I feel like
I wouldn't call it a rom-com, but
what?
I said I wouldn't call it a rom-com.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not a rom-com.
It's like a romantic drama.
It's a romantic drama. Every woman in 1998 when that were 97?
Yeah.
97, 98 when that came out. That was like the heartbreak movie of the year. It's hard to beat. That's why.
Yeah.
My mom used to watch it all the time. She loved that movie. Back then. Anyway, so yeah, that's our trivia segment brought to you by Perdomo Cigars. And back to our PCA discussion. It was a good show. I think the PCA did a great job putting on that show.
They did. I feel like there was no drama on the floor.
No problems.
Yep. I just feel like it was a very straightforward show. That was good.
I didn't hear many complaints about anything from manufacturers.
All the festivities were good.
Yeah.
Surrounding the show.
Yep. After hours accessibility. It rained briefly, but other than that, the weather was pretty good. In fact, it was a little cooler this year than last year, but other than that, it was pretty good.
I was doing all my other excursions with Alana, but that's okay.
Yeah. We had some interesting ones. I won't get into them, but we had some interesting ones. The Women of Oz. That was only the beginning of the night.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, it was a good time. It was a good trip. And success, I think, I think that the foot traffic on the floor, I heard rumblings that it seemed a little slower towards the middle of the show than last year. Overall, I think it was still a well-attended show, and I think from what I hear, people were satisfied with the business they did on the average for the most part. I didn't hear a lot of complaints on, foot traffic, sales, all that business. Seems like most people I spoke to were pretty happy with the way the show went, in terms of sales, traffic, exposure, this, whatever. All around, it was a good show. Next year, it heads back to Vegas for 2 years, and then after that, it'll go back to New Orleans again. Then from there, I think it's unofficially undecided. So, in that regard, good show. It was a great time. It's always great to see everybody and catch up and see how everyone's doing and check out new releases. Any favorites or new brands that caught your interest? Yeah, I mean the Perdomo stuff. The father and son legacy. I mean that was great. Like I said, I was excited for Juan Lopez over at Gurkha for his Tres Decadas, however you say that. That was cool.
So I have one that I thought was cool that was new. So it was, and I wish I had all the information with me, which I don't. But he was located within Luciano's booth, and it was Cosio.
Oh, okay.
Cigars. So he helped blend one of Luciano's releases from maybe last year, and this guy is starting his own company, so he came out with his own cigar, I believe. It's in a few different wrappers, but it's Cosio, and I'm hoping that we'll get him on the show actually, because his story's kind of cool. So he's not new to cigar blending, but that's Cossio, and it's the first cigar that he's ever made by himself, so like not assisting blending with someone else.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on.
So that was interesting, and he had his own space, but it was like within Luciano's booth.
Just kind of getting himself out there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he was like off to the side with Luciano, but and then there was another brand, and I'll have the name for you next week, but it's the guys, and they were dressed like Miami Vice, and they were the two retired police officers from I think.
When you say they were dressed like Miami
Yeah,
Vice,
they literally, yes, they were like in.
like you had Blondie in the white suit, like Sonny Crockett, and then you had
They had the hats and like the
hats. They didn't wear hats.
Okay, well he had a hat anyway. They were dressed.
Crockett
like
and
they were
Tubbs didn't wear hats.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, that's what they told me. So they looked like it, and yes, they had a white like suit jacket on.
Yeah.
At least one of them. So.
Dawn Johnson.
Yeah.
But I love Dakota Johnson, but I think mostly because I like her dad.
But
he was a badass back then.
First year at the trade show, they've had their own brand for 3 years, and they are retired police officers. So I will have that name for you for next week's show, Kevin, because I think it just isn't in my phone notes right now. But they were pretty cool, and I want to get them on the show because their story's just really cool too.
Yeah, we can do that.
So they've been in the industry 3 years. Their first PCA trade show, so it was their first time, being there. And they did actually open a decent amount of accounts, so I'm hoping that people will see more of them.
Yeah.
They said they're now in like over 20 retailers.
Wow.
Which, like, for your first trade show, like they've only been like locally for a little while.
That's pretty good.
So.
Yeah, the only other.
But I'll get the name for them because they were cool.
The only other thing that was kind of interesting, and I think it's more of a manufacturer's thing, is that, and I didn't get to see it, but I heard a lot about it, was the, I don't know if you'd call it multi-purpose, but you went to Domain, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you see the mold?
No.
So he's got a mold. Now, and I have a mold. I have a real mold. It's not close by, or I'd grab it. for demonstration. But anybody who follows the process, the manufacturing process, you know about the molds. The bunch, the binder, they get rolled, gets put in the mold, gets pressed. That's what gives it the shape, right? It's what holds the shape before it's wrapped. So historically, they've always been made out of wood, and a lot of wooden ones are still used today. But also, you have the introduction of plastics that have now been used, and there are factories out there who even make their own, like the Fuentes make their own. They have their own machines that carve plastic. They can come up with a shape and digitally, and then send it to the machine, and the machine will CNC and carve it out, and they make their own molds. Well, one of the things about plastic that's interesting is, obviously when cigars get put into the molds and they're pressed, they're wet. And part of that process is allowing some of the moisture to escape from the tobacco leaves in the cigar, which in the wooden molds, the wood would absorb that moisture. And the plastic, it doesn't really have anywhere to go. And oftentimes, so there's pros and cons to, plastic over wood. And oftentimes, they break or they wear down over, because they get used over and over and over and over and over again, especially under pressure and this and that. They get tossed around the factory. There's, stuff you could imagine, wear and tear. And when the mold is broken, or you're set up for a certain size or whatever, you got to change it all out. So I didn't get to see it, but I heard about it. And I guess Daniel Lance at Domain has a mold that each individual slot in the top, it's interchangeable.
Interesting.
So you can change it out into different. It slides out.
Yeah.
You slide a new piece in, so you don't have to waste the entire mold. You can change pieces in and out. Very interesting.
Well, also they had the is it the Para cigar, the new?
Yeah, that they have.
Well, no, they were at the.
Yeah.
Sharing the booth with them.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And I forget, but I made a connection with the guy there who blended their cigars and started that company too.
Yeah, so. I knew about it. Yeah. So I want to get him on the show too.
Yeah, he was interesting. He was nice. So.
Was there a new cigar, Arabian Nights? Oh yeah, who had that?
Asylum.
Yeah. Asylum. Yeah, and they're gonna be. They have the. Is it the 1790 something? I forget what it is. That Christian Rowe's son actually worked on, and they're gonna release that in Morocco.
Yeah. Yeah,
they're gonna do a whole release in Morocco. It's a whole thing. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Asylum had the Arabian Nights, which I don't know. Chuck's a local guy. I don't know if anyone around us bought it, because I inquired about some of the CLE stuff over there, and I don't know if.
Does Kurt carry it?
I think he does. I don't know if he got that though. I don't think, because there was some stuff that they had over there that I asked Ed and Dave about. I was like, "Did you buy that?" Because I want to buy some, and they were like, "I don't think they did." I can't remember, but yes, there was an Arabian Nights. Yeah, it was at CLE. I do remember that now because I talked to Tom Lazuka about it, and it's in our interview too. If you go to our YouTube channel and you find our CLE/Asylum video, I did the interview with Tom Lazuka, and he talked about it. So there's all the information is on there.
The other one too that's it was their first year at the trade show was Notorious Cigars. Conor McGregor's brand. He was not there, of course, but no, they had a decent sized booth for their first year, and we're also just there. It was popping. I feel like their booth.
Marlon Wayans was there.
Yep.
Guy Fieri was there.
Yep.
Chaz Palminteri was there.
Yep, he had a new release.
He did. He expanded on the Bronx Tail line. Yep. Yeah, there's always a few celebrities kicking around the show, You never know who you might run into. We've had a few run-ins over the years. Other than that, the celebrity stuff was kind of minimum as usual. Trying to think of anything like really outstanding. The problem is for us, after a while, it all just kind of starts to blend together. It's like, okay, another booth, it's like it all kind of leads together. But yeah, I mean, good show overall. I mean, that's my biggest takeaway.
I think we hit all the highlights, though.
Yeah, I mean, good show overall. All that stuff's going to start shipping out now, and you'll see it start to trickle out over the next couple of months. Biggest thing, ask your local retailer. Yeah. You know, what's new, what's going on, what they buy, what are they bringing in. 2guyscigars.com, a lot of it you'll see at 2guyscigars.com. You know, I know that they brought in I think they brought in Domain. I think Ed had told me they brought Domain in. Mm-hmm. So 2 Guys Cigars will be carrying that brand. There's a couple others they brought in too. I can't remember. AG. I think AG he said he bought, and Domain he brought in. Yep. I think is what he said. I thought there was 3, but those are the 2 I remember. So they'll have some new brands there, but they'll have some of the newer stuff from the brands they already carry. Bigger names. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's it. I mean, another show in the books. It's over. It's done. Great to see everybody. Thank you to everyone for the hospitality and all the booths that we visited. Nicole did a lot of interviews this year. She did a great job. I was really proud of her. She can be a little shy, believe it or not. So she did a really good job.
I am shy.
And I was really proud of her for that. And to thank you to Matt and Alana who were with us and helped us. Everyone did such a great job. We had, in terms of covering the show, we had no problems. Everyone did a great job. I was really happy with the coverage that we did. So just a huge thank you to all of them. And then, of course, everyone that was, that we met with at the show, too. So thank you very much to all those people. And that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got for PCA 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just another one in the books.
Another one in the books. And now we enter the long summer season. The busy season, as some retailers might say. It's going to be a long summer. It's going to be a fun summer, but it's going to be a long one. So make sure you stay tuned for more updates and stuff as it kind of rolls out. Ask your local retailers for about what's new, what they brought in, X, Y, and Z. Everybody will have different stuff, but it'll be out there. It'll be rolling out. So make sure to stay tuned for it. Head over to our YouTube channel. Check out all of our interviews from the trade show. You don't want to miss that. And if you had any questions on any of the releases, it's probably in there. So just find the brand that you're looking for, and you'll find it. Other than that, yeah. Thanks for being here with us this week. We appreciate you guys listening, watching, subscribing, all of that fun stuff. And as always, head to SmokinTabacco.com for more news, reviews, and updates from the cigar industry. And with that, it's time to say good night.